Welcome back to Zemer of the Week, Zao. I'm John Hornstein here with my co-host David Rosenwine. And we are still rocking and rolling through season two. Um,
It's
who
been going
knows?
on for too long, John.
You tired of season two? How many more
Oh,
episodes should we do?
you can never be tired of season two. I'm just saying, season two has been rocking.
Yeah. No, I'm in your camp, Dave. I think we're not overstepping our bounds in season two. I think we're rocking and rolling. We're bringing out dessert though, David. We got about two more Zemiro
Ooh.
sessions in our meal before we are ready to say grace and stop eating. So if you need to take one last grab for the potato kugel, I would recommend doing that right now.
I've got a weak spot for potato kugel.
I do. Um, and so we are gonna bring in another great Ashkenazi tune this week. One that David and I actually have never heard before.
It's 2 weeks
And
in a row if you're counting at home.
Yep, which is not saying very much to me, for me, but it is saying something for David, who teaches our youth their bar mitzvahs. So maybe you should be a little bit more knowledgeable on these things.
All right. Yep, I get it. I got to do more homework, but that's why we have the podcast so we can teach Zmiro.
That's right. That's right. And then the other thing about that we're going to do this week, and we alluded to this last week, is we're going to continue this theme through again a third week in a row of discussing how Zemirot are passed down Lador Vador, generation to generation. Something we're seeing a lot in this season too, that we're learning Zemirot from our families ultimately. And we like to carry those traditions forward. And speaking of family, David, we actually we were talking about this before the podcast. We've got a family member on air today, don't we?
We do. We're very, very grateful, thankful, and blessed to have Meirav Ong, on the show this week. Meirav, welcome to Zemer of the Week.
Thanks, guys. That's so sweet. I'm so excited to be here.
We're really happy to have you, and just to kind of put the whole family connection and tie everything together for the listenership. Those of you that don't know, Meirav married a wonderful man named Jeff, who also happens to be the producer of Zemer of the Week. Very, very talented. John and I were actually talking before that we would not be here without him. And Jeff and Meirav got married about 11, almost 12 months ago at this point,
Yeah.
and they happen to be the inspiration behind Zemer of the Week. So this is a really big honor and a big coming of full circle for us.
Well, thank you. I know it's crazy it's been that long, but I'm really excited to be here.
Meirav is also one of our most avid listeners, and depending on who you ask, we're not really sure, but that is regardless of the count, a special feat. Um,
The count is
regardless
something that's debated almost every week, isn't it, John?
It is, especially when you're in David's circles. If you're living on the Upper West Side around where Gothenburger is, and you're eating by David a lot, you're probably, in all honesty, debating the count maybe 5, 6 times per weekend, just because David's really curious about it. But that's a separate issue.
It is.
Um, um, but Meirav, curious to hear what you will be singing this week, and where you learned the tune.
Well, I'm going to be singing one of my favorite songs. I just love the tune a lot. It's called Yom Zeli Yisrael, and I'm pretty sure I learned this from my cousins. Grew up really close to my cousins, and I probably learned most of the tunes I know from sharing Shabbat meals with them. And we just sing this one all the time. It's become my dad's favorite song, where to the point that when he wants to sing it, some of my brothers might groan because we sing it every week, but I love it a lot. So,
It's like a true family Zemer then, right?
oh yeah.
Wow. Um, first of all, it's an honor that we're getting to hear your father's favorite tune. Um, but yeah, what is? Can you give us sort of just like a brief little intro about
Sure.
this tune and a little bit about what it means?
So this is a slower tune. This song, I've definitely heard some faster tunes, but I'm a fan of slow tunes. And
As am I, but John put a time limit on this podcast. I'm not
well,
sure why.
I'll only teach a version or two,
Oh, okay.
of course.
Just anytime you hear time limits, it's David. So just,
I'll keep that in mind. But similar, I mean, to what Dossie was talking about last week, her family's super musically talented, so I'm not even going to compare. But um, just singing with so many people when my family would get together with my cousins, and you just have all of these harmonies happening together, and it's just something really special. So I think that's always stuck with me. I kind of wish I had those harmonies right now to carry me through singing this, but I think that's because of that, singing and Zemerot have always been such a part of my Shabbat. So that,
maybe we'll get the brothers and the cousins in the
yeah,
studio all together
maybe
one time soon.
next time. That would be awesome. Um, and as for the song itself, it's called Yom Zeli Yisrael. So this is a day for Israel. And I think Shabbat has always been just a really special day for me. I've always really appreciated this day to pause from the rest of the week and however you choose to spend it, at least to spend it with the mindset that it's separated from the rest of the week, however you want to differentiate. Um, and it was written by Yitzhak Luria, who is a famous Kabbalist. And the song, it spells out, like all the stanzas spell out his name, Yitzhak Luria Chazak. But a lot of benchers kind of shrink it down to only maybe like 4 stanzas instead of, I think, the full like 8 or 10 that it is. So it depends what bencher you're using, but you can get the longer version or the shorter version.
Well, since we're almost up to dessert, probably the shorter version is,
Shorter version works.
yeah, it's probably going to work here. But if you don't mind, I'm sure John is as anxious as I to hear you sing it.
Sure. Okay, so it's pretty easy to get the hang of it, especially since the chorus and the stanzas both have the same tune, which I've always wondered why this is. And so maybe if there's any listeners out there that know a different variation of it where the chorus and the stanzas differ, that would be awesome if you could let me know. So
Well, I'm excited about this because it's easier to learn.
but it's definitely easier to learn. So yeah, here goes. Yom ze Yisrael ora v'simcha ora v'simcha Shabbat menucha Tzevita pekudim b'ma'amad har Sinai Shabbat u'moadim lishmor b'chol shanai la'aroch lefanai Maaser ve'arucha Shabbat menucha Shabbat menucha. And then again with the chorus, which is Yom Zeh Yisrael Ora V'Simcha Ora V'Simcha Shabbat Menucha
That was really nice. I really like it's a very soothing tune. I can see why your dad likes it. I also get on the other side why your brothers might groan a little bit. But that was
Yeah,
great.
but they love it too, so.
One question I had for you, and sorry to throw the curve, but
Bring it.
so Yom Zel Yisrael, a day, at least how I'm understanding it, a day for Israel, and I also heard, Har Sinai, so Mount Sinai get mentioned. I'm not, again, as familiar with the song, so I'm not 100% sure what the other stanzas entail, but is the song more Shabbat oriented, or is it more about, the land of Israel or the people of Israel?
Um, it's kind of a combination of both. So the first half of the song, probably the first four stanzas or so, are talking specifically to Bnei Israel, right? God is saying, um, I am giving you this day of Shabbat and and rejoice with it and sanctify it and celebrate it, right? And so it's more specifically about the relationship of Shabbat to Bnei Israel and to the people of Israel. And then it starts to talk about the temple, which all good Jewish liturgy does. And so the second half of the song is, I think to me it's more talking about Shabbat as this day that we have to hold on to as we, await God's salvation, it's almost the only aspect of spirituality that's like still directly linked to when we were really close with God and when the day that he commanded us to keep Shabbat. I think it's kind of our only link still that we can hold on to that pulls us out of our crazy weeks, that reminds us like, oh yeah, we have this awesome gift from God, and let's really soak it in, and embrace this day of rest. And it's, I mean, the chorus is Yom Zel Yisrael, so this is a day for Israel, Ora v'simcha, filled with light and happiness, and Shabbat Menucha, Shabbat's the day of rest. So to me, it's kind of to really emphasize the light and the happiness that we should be able to find in our lives.
That's so beautiful, and I think that the thing that I really really like about this song, and particularly about what you just said, Meirav, is last week, David, you gave sort of an anecdote about after Dasi had sung her song, about saying how you used to view Shabbat as FOMO essentially, and as like you were missing out on things, and that you really didn't, you couldn't get into it because like, oh, like somebody might be texting me, or like I'm missing out on like this sporting event or whatever. And it's just cool to sort of flip that on its head and sing this song Yom Zel Yisrael and view it as a gift, to use your words, Meirav. So I guess I'll close with this question to both of you. What is one way that you think that we can in our attitudes or in our practice towards Shabbat, continue to view Shabbat as a gift and perpetuate, the theme of Yom Zel Yisrael as God presenting Shabbat to us as a gift?
That's a great question. Do you want me to go, Rosie?
Yeah, that'd be great.
I think in all things in life you can always see things as two sides, and the haves and the have-nots, and I think it's so important and so crucial to just appreciate all that you do have. And so on Shabbat, I think, right, you can always be wanting to wish you could be somewhere else, or to wish you were with other people. I mean, you can't get to them, or whatever the wish is, to take that moment just to be and appreciate the moment you're in. And Shabbat forces that upon you, for better or for worse. And because you're being forced in that moment, it's just, be so appreciative with the people that you are with. And, if that's your family, be so appreciative of that and be just really grateful for the moment to just pause and breathe and soak up the goodness of what you do have.
I love that so much because it's the very thing that's causing us FOMO sometimes, that inability to connect with others, that is a gift to us, that is allowing us to really be present and to fully
Completely.
fully soak in the environment we're in. So, wow,
Yeah.
that was brilliant, brilliant words, Meirav. Thank you so much for joining us this week and
Thank
for
you.
this lovely, lovely Zemer.
Really, really appreciate it.
I appreciate it. It's always a pleasure.
Always, always a pleasure. Um, so next week we have a very special guest on, who is I will leave his identity a surprise and a mystery because David loves curveballs as he's
I do love curveballs and mystery dum-dums, so it's good.
Yep. This surprise guest is currently in the process of applying and choosing a rabbinical school, and has exposure to several different realms, particularly Jewish denominations where Zemirot are sung. And so the question that we want to pose in advance of next week is, what are some of the differences in how Zemirot are sung across denominations, and across different Jewish circles and ways of life? And are there different Zemirot that are more popular in each circle? Um, interested to hear anyone's thoughts. If you want to reach out to David or I at zemeroftheweek@gmail.com. But if not, we will find out with our special guest next week. But until then, thanks so much for listening. I think it was a great episode. Thanks again, Meirav, for joining us.
Thank you.
And and David, I want you to have a great week, buddy.
John, you as well. Stay safe out there, all right? I know it's springtime and you get the spring fever.
I have plenty of fever, plenty of fever. Hopefully, some Saturday night fever will come around this weekend. But
there you go. There you go. Stay safe. Have a good week, everybody. Shabbat shalom.